Welcome to the Jazz Flyte Podcast. I'm your host, Darrell Scott, and together we will dive into the lives and careers of the jazz legends who have left a rhythmic imprint on the world. Be prepared to reminisce on the highs and the lows of their musical journey and the trials that sculpted their timeless musical gems. We'll preserve the legacy of these extraordinary maestros and find inspiration in the melodies of their lives. Subscribe now and never miss a beat. Now, let's get to the show. Welcome, everybody, to the Jazz Flyte Podcast. I am Darrell Scott. My guest today, if you're old like I am, there are many concerts you saw in the summertime. There are many people that were your favorites. One of my favorites was Jarreau, but he had this horn section behind him. There were these two guys. Number one, they stood the entire time. Even at a young age, I couldn't stand for that long of a concert. But they were so good. They've since gone on to their own solo careers, which is very good. And I want to talk to Patches about some of that stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my guest today. This is Michael Patches Stewart. Patches, how you doing today?
I'm fine. How about yourself?
I am fine. I want to start with this. As I'm reading your bio, so at 16, you played on Lady Marmalade?
Okay, not quite 16. I think I was 19 or
Okay.
20.
Okay.
Something like that. The age is not correct, but I did play on that CD. Yeah, I mean that record at that time. What I'm talking about.
Dude,
Yeah.
let's not get started on CDs and records. Dude, I still don't know what to call them. But even then, you're a young person, and you go on to wind up you're in Quincy Jones, the Dude Band. You're doing all
Yes.
this stuff at a young age. What was life like for you during that time? Because you go from basically a teenager to touring the world to having all this responsibility to doing all this. What's your life like? How are you dealing with that?
Yeah, that's a good question. It was, you know what? Growing up in New Orleans, it was just such a great opportunity and great experience because you walk the street, there was music everywhere, right?
Right?
But I went to a university, Southern University. It was an instructor there named Kid Jordan. He has two kids, two sons. That was actually one's a trumpet player and one's a flute player. But I was in his class and he said, "You know what? If you're going to continue this career, you should go to either New York or Los Angeles, 'cause that's where the
Hmm.
work is." So he kind of promoted me enticed me to do that. So I left the university maybe a year early to pursue that adventure. So I went to Los Angeles, and that's how all that stuff started. It started snowballing from there. Yeah.
How do you? I always try to get people a perspective of, because we see what you're doing now, what you've done in the past, and all this music and traveling and so forth and so on.
Hmm.
But I also go, there's this period of time when you kind of don't know. You're playing. How do I
Yeah.
deal with this? How do I deal with flying? How do I deal with food, apartments,
Oh,
hotels? Uh, how do you learn about all of that stuff?
you have to experience that. That's the whole key. You have to be adventure. You have to have the attitude that this is what I want to do, and whatever it takes, I need to go through it. I mean, it was time where I was eating bologna sandwiches. I was trying to make contacts in Los Angeles where I didn't know anybody really, and it was a struggle. I had day jobs. I was a
Hmm.
messenger. I was a monitor at a school. But then one day, actually, I have to go back a little further because when I was in New Orleans, I did have experience touring at a young age with Johnny Taylor.
Ooh,
That was an adventure
ooh,
by itself. Just to say that name, it was just,
right, yes.
oh my goodness, it was, yeah. But I was still living in New Orleans at that time.
Mm,
So I'm gonna start from there.
okay.
From that situation. Johnny Taylor had a 15-piece orchestra. He had guys from New Orleans, from Dallas, and from Chicago in that band.
Mm-hmm.
So at a young age, I had experienced this different cultures with all these different musicians and all these different stories. But the blues circuit was a whole nother animal by itself.
Right. Yes.
I mean, it was cutthroat. I'm sorry.
Oh.
You had to worry about the management, the artists. I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
and the club owners. It was a rough experience, but it helped me to grow in the music industry and
Mm-hmm.
learn about how it is. Those guys were telling me stories about how they had to get their money from the record company. Johnny Taylor had every song he played was a hit.
Right.
And he was telling me about the struggle that he went through, right? But
Mm-hmm.
then the struggle I had to go through with him.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Even to get paid, it was a struggle with him. It was crazy. But from that experience, I got a call from a guy. I said with Johnny Taylor, but I got a call from the management of Al Jarreau,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Listen, some guy was telling me about you, and I don't know why he heard about me. I'm living
Right.
in New Orleans, right? I
Right.
still don't know how that happened, but it did happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? It's so long ago that I'm still missing some pieces.
Right. That's fine.
Before Al Jarreau, it was I got a call to do a gig with the Brothers Johnson. That's what it
Yeah.
was.
Okay.
With the Brothers Johnson. From the Brothers Johnson gig, that's how things started snowballing from there.
Right.
I met Quincy Jones through Brothers Johnson. Through Quincy, I met Quincy Al Jarreau.
Mm-hmm.
So from the Brothers Johnson gig until that opened up the door for me in Los Angeles.
Right.
So that's how all that really started.
And what was it like? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sitting in the 422nd row of an Al
Right.
Jarreau concert, watching you and Michael play. What was it like playing? Because I've had the opportunity to talk to Al,
Right.
but what was it like? Because you two were featured.
Yeah.
It was like Al Jarreau, and here's the horn section.
Right.
So you got your props from playing solos, from being there, and it was kind of the way it was set up. You two
Right.
stood out. What did you learn from that experience?
Yeah. That experience was quite musically, it was great because at that time, that experience had me also not just playing parts, I was
Mhm.
also being solo and playing the solo, which is another animal by itself. So that experience really opened the door for me for improvisation. Because the other bands I'm mentioning was pretty much
Right.
horn section, horn section, horn section,
Right.
not so much solo going on. But when I joined Al Band, I had a chance to express myself as an artist, a solo artist as well.
Mhm.
So that was a from that experience opened the door for from that concept as well. Being
Mhm.
being playing solo, not just horn section, but as a soloist.
Right.
So that experience really helped me a lot to grow
I
as a musician.
I wanna back up a little bit here. You're from New Orleans,
Right.
which to me has its own jazz culture, but it
Yeah.
also has its own jazz heroes and
Yes.
mentors,
Yes.
and we won't get into naming all of them because there's too many. The show would be 2 hours long.
Exactly.
But what are you whether it's Armstrong, Wynton Marsalis,
Right.
blah, 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 how
Hmm.
are you taking all that in and still developing your style?
Good question. It's just you through trial and error, you try different things. You try to gravitate to different music, and you listen to like the guys you just mentioned,
Right.
Armstrong, Winton. But even before Winton used to come to my band, listen to me. I was ahead of him and
Right,
Branford, right? They would
right,
tell you the story. They used to come listen to my band. So, but Winton, Al Hurt was another guy that I really listened to.
right.
He was just amazing. I used to walk the streets of the French Bourbon Street, and Bourbon Street they had these clubs. Al Hurt had his own club, right?
Right.
So they would open the door so you can hear the music to get people to come in, right?
Mhm.
I was like a young guy, maybe 12, something like that, walking the street trying to listen to this music. So I was staying by the door just for them to open the door so I can hear Al Hurt play this trumpet. He was just an amazing trumpet
Yes.
player. In fact, he gave Wynton his first instrument, his first trumpet.
Really?
Yeah, because Ellis Marcellus, which was another influence of mine, I went to his
Right.
classes a couple of times and learned a lot from him as well.
It
Hmm.
I can't imagine, every area has its own flavor, we'll say. But
Right.
that when it comes to jazz, New Orleans, when you can walk down the street and hear, I'm gonna throw a name out there, see if you remember Pete Fountain,
Oh
Al
yeah,
Hurd,
he had his own club as well. Yeah.
right? And you had all of this, so you could sample all of these different people. And at some point, I'm sure, with your reputation in school, hey, come in and sit in for a session, come in and sit in for a song or whatever.
Right.
That's additional pressure on you.
It
I,
is.
I don't know, dude. I got pressure trying to put this show together, but I can't imagine walking down the street, having people recognize you, telling you to come in and play, about the different pressure you had coming from all these quote unquote superstars.
Right.
Were
Yeah.
you raised, obviously you were raised properly, but
Yeah.
is that part of your growing up period of learning how to deal with, I don't know, people who were doing command performances and things like that?
Yeah, I mean the key is going out there and listen to all the artists and interacting with them as well. You know, they give you tips. Someone will talk to you, someone say, nah, I don't have time, go
Right.
somewhere else. But
Hmm.
but that's the key. I knew Wallace was a place, if you listen, the sidewalks will talk to you. You know,
Right. Yes.
it was just an amazing place to grow up in music. But getting back to your question, yeah, it's just from all these different musicians and all the different influence, you put it all into like a funnel or something, and you pour it all out, and you come out who you are.
Right.
You
Right.
know, that's pretty much what it is.
I want people to sample some of the work that you've done. Let's listen to Overjoyed from our guest today on the Jazz Flyte Podcast, Michael Patches Stewart.
Thank you.
Steve, you wanted to cover Overjoyed by our guest today on the Jazz Flyte Podcast, Michael Patches Stewart. Let's
Hmm.
So you do this sideman stuff for
Right.
a few years. At what point do you go, I now want to be a solo artist? And the transition of that, because, and I don't know how this works, you'll have to tell me. I don't know if you sat there and say you went up to Al and go, hey, look, I'm gonna start pursuing a solo career, or so and
Right.
so calls, and then do you kind of have a breakup or what? But then
Hmm.
you also have to pursue your dreams and what you want to do.
Right.
What was the reasoning behind going solo?
Well, the reason going solo actually came from Kenny Garrett.
Uh, uh,
Kenny Garrett said, you know what? Here's the thing. He said, you've been playing, you're a great player, but you got to realize you be in these situations and 5 and 10 years go by, and what have you done for yourself?
right. Yes.
So he said, you should stay into any situation no more than 5 years before you start thinking about yourself and what you're going to do, your career. Because time will go by, you get comfortable, you
Hmm.
get relaxed, and all of a sudden, those years are going by and you have nothing to show for as an artist for yourself.
Right.
The scary part about it is letting go of that because it's you all of a sudden you make a decision, I'm going to be a solo artist, and you're on your own. You have to do all the lead work. Where before you're a side man or artist, I mean a side a backup person, you just go, they tell you what time the gig starts, what time you have to be there, you get paid, no matter what happened, you still get paid. As an artist, you're taking all kind of risk, and you got to be prepared to fall down and
Hmm.
we got to get back up.
And then how do you recover?
Yeah,
Right.
you recover. Yes, that's the thing. So you have to be dedicated to and be be uh be focused, and you have to be on point on what you want to do for yourself and come up with a plan and execute it.
So do you have conversations with people telling them your we'll call them dreams, your aspirations, and hopefully they don't come back at you and burn you, so to speak? Or do you just go, this is my plan, this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to stick with it?
It's pretty much your own decision what you have to do. You have to make it up in your own mind and your own heart how to pursue this and what do you want to do to get to achieve that to achieve what you want to do. But it's pretty much your own decision. You have to be, people can encourage you, and people can tell you that the downside part about it as well. But you have to be focused and be determined what you want to get to, and stay to it, stick to the plan. Yeah,
That's an awful lot of pressure. Now,
it is.
you talk about your career. I looked this up and I forgot some of these people,
Mm,
but whether it's Sanborn, George Duke, Ricky Lee Jones, Anita Baker,
yeah,
you experience all these different kinds of musicians. I want
right.
to talk to, I'll tell you this story. So I got fortunate enough to talk to Marcus Miller. So I go, Marcus, you've worked with Miles, Sanborn, Luther, Jarreau. I said, how do you deal with those people? Literally, he leans into the screen and goes, I'm from New York. Like,
That's true.
and you go, once he said that, it's like, okay, I understand it. But everybody is not Marcus Miller from New York
Right,
and have the credentials that he does.
right.
Obviously, your credentials are high. You do your job well. You are a integral part of this band.
Hmm.
But still, from each of those personalities, all very different, you have to learn something. Do you kind of sometimes sit back and watch, sit back and listen, take what they're doing, apply it to what you do, what you want to do, and then put that into your plan and I'll use a New Orleans term, create that gumbo?
That's a good go. Yeah. Oh, the thing is, how I approach it is each artist, like you said, is different.
Hmm.
So they have different needs. They have different way uh they present their music and how they wanted to present their music. Some are hands-on, some are want you to figure out what they want, which is really crazy. So so what you do, you listen to them, you're trying to find out what they need, and you try to give them what they need, because it's a
Hmm.
job.
Right.
It's a job. So, and for you to do the job that they need you to do, you have to be, you have to be well equipped to go from one situation to another, from jazz to rock to R&B. It's all different. It's a whole different animal, but it's all music.
Right. Right.
It's all music, but you have to approach it all differently. So, are you capable as a musician to to provide all the things that they need in that genre? So I tried to make myself an all-around musician where I can attempt to give them what they need, which is kind of hard because usually one person, a lot of musicians are, okay, I'm a jazz musician, so I play jazz. They try to
Right.
play anything else, it's not as good.
Right.
But what I try to do, I guess, as a working musician, I try to be comfortable in all these different genres, which is hard by itself, especially on the trumpet.
Yes.
But that trumpet is so demanding, so unforgiving, because you have to play that thing every day.
Right.
If I miss one day, I know it. If I miss 2 days, everybody knows it.
Right.
It's kind of like that.
Speaking of the trumpet,
Hmm.
I saw a picture. You have a trumpet that goes in about 18 different directions.
I know what
I'm
you're
just
talking about.
I'm just being honest. It's one of those things, I have the opportunity to ask this question, so I'm going to ask.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Did you develop that? Is the sound different? What is the deal with that?
I know exactly what trumpet you're talking about. It's from a company called company in Holland, Adams, right?
Hmm.
I'll tell you, it is a design from Kristen Scott. You know the trumpet player Kristen Scott?
Yeah.
It's his design, actually.
Ah,
That's his model.
does it change the tone? Do you have to do anything different?
No, it's just a concept where it's about the look of the instrument. But as you know, okay, Dizzy Gillespie, right? Let's go
Yes.
to Dizzy.
Yeah, yeah.
Dizzy
I
had
didn't
that
think,
trumpet
yes.
and
Yep.
you know the story behind that trumpet, do you?
I don't know how it I thought
Okay,
maybe something got bent or something.
long story short, he was at a birthday party for his wife. Some guy sat on his trumpet and he bent this thing up and he went to play it again and he realized, wow, this is kind of nice. Because what happened, a trumpet, the sound has to go out and come back for us to hear it. Because
Right.
the trumpet, the bell is in front of you. But the bell tilted was closer to his ear. So he said he can hear the sound quicker than the normal trumpet going straight out.
Hmm.
So it was like so from there on, it was like a gift from heaven for him that became his style and his development. So that trumpet you're talking about has that same, almost have that same concept. So
Yes.
the thing is, you can hear it a little quicker sound wise for the player
Hmm.
than the regular trumpet that's going straight out and the sound had to come back to you. That's it.
Uh,
That's only different besides the
okay,
cosmetic part
because
about it.
because it's one of those things that's go.
It's crazy
You sit
looking,
there
I
and you
know.
kind of look at it like, I mean,
Why?
why? How did this happen? What is going on? Does it sound any different?
It doesn't
Um,
sound any different, no.
good.
But I don't
Cool.
play it anymore, so that tells you.
Oh man. So if I
Yeah.
see you in concert, I'm gonna bring one with me and hand it to you.
All
Let
right.
let's talk about before we go to break. Let's talk about this guy who seems to have had an impact on a lot of different careers. What
Mhm.
does Marcus Miller mean to you?
Wow, Marcus Miller, that guy, I think what he means to me is he just opened up so many doors musically. I mean, different artists, from Sanborn to I mean, the name, there's so many people, but he's just a musician that don't mind sharing the knowledge, his experience, his heart is just amazing. And the way he tells stories, as you know, he's a good
Hmm.
storyteller. He's
Yes.
really good about it.
Yes.
Yeah. And he introduced me to Miles, but that was the thing. I never forget that.
Hmm.
It was Al Jarreau, Miles Davis, Universal Studios in Los Angeles. It was a weekend concert. It was Al Jarreau and Miles. Of course, Miles never opened.
Right.
He wanted to play first and then get in his limousine and go, right?
Yes. Yes.
So one day, I think we played Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I think Saturday, Marcus came to the concert, hanging out. And I was trying to tell him, I said, man, I'm hanging out at Miles' door. I'm trying to hear him warm up. It's like crickets. I don't hear anything, right? And I don't know how to approach him, right? And then he said, okay, I'm introduce you to Miles, right? So Marcus said, hey man, Saturday, we're gonna do this on Saturday. I'm gonna come to the concert and we're gonna so I'm standing at Miles' dressing room. Long story short, Marcus and I are talking. He said, Miles coming out. And he grabbed Miles and Miles, even with Mark, he's like, man, got stuff to do. I gotta go. He said, no, I want you to do the Al Jarreau trumpet player. He said, yeah, who are you? I said, I'm Patches Stewart, blah, blah, blah. I said, I got a question. I said, Miles, we've been here for like a couple of days. I never hear you warm up, right? He looked at me and said, and you never will. And walked away.
I've heard
That was it.
so many stories about Miles, and I have one of my own where he leaned over and looked at this group of people I was with and said, "How am I doing? Really? You're asking us how you doing?" Never mind. We're not gonna worry about that.
But that's
All right.
my Miles Davis story, man. And
He
Mark
is.
said, I tried to tell you. That's Miles.
There's some people you just. I'll just okay. Then I'll just leave it alone. Once again, we're
Right?
gonna take a break. We're gonna listen to. I think this is one of your very first solo singles. This is Soul Serenade on the Jazz Flight Podcast. So you have, as this young musician growing up through all of this, the thing I always want to hear is I want to put all of you in a room, and I'm
Right.
not giving you any instruments.
Hmm.
I just want to hear the stories that you all have because in doing this show, I hear lots of them, and I think people need to understand it. But you're musicians, but you're also friends, you're acquaintances, you do this, you do that, and there are so many funny stories, but there are so many stories that where you have learned how to handle different things, where you
Right.
learn how to handle different people, where you learn how to handle the audience, um, and this new the technology age which we're in now. Some of you are independent artists, so your whole role has to change.
Right.
It's more computer driven than everything else. And I don't know how much you use computers back in the day, but you
Mhm.
basically have to become uh, computer fluent now in order to do everything.
Right.
How has your musical life changed with all of that, with this new technology and everything?
Yeah. Technology is well, before you have to go out and interact, which that part is kind of missing. It's
Right.
still there, but not as much. But now you have it at your fingertips the information. You can go and Google this and YouTube that and get all this information, slow it down,
Mm-hmm.
and put it under a microscope and just dissect the whole whatever you're trying to figure out. So you got more is the technology is good. At the other side of the technology is people are not being interactive like we used to do.
Right. Yes.
That part is down, but it's a give and take. But I think it's good. But like I said, on the other side, the interaction is not like it used to be. Like we had to grow up, you had to be right there on the spot and talk to people and play together, have jam sessions and
Right. Yes. Yes.
those things. And those things was very important to develop who you are as a musician. So yeah. But like I
Okay.
said, the technology is good because you can go there and see and get all this information.
Right. So as we get ready to wrap up here, what what are you working on now? What's new on your plate, or what things are on your plate? How many different projects are you involved in?
Good question. And yeah, right now, I'm at the point in my career where I'm kind of slow things down a little. As I get older,
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to be more selective of what I'm doing and not not taking anything and everything. Right now, I'm kind of working with Patrice Rushen. I'm doing stuff with her,
Okay.
and I'm doing some of her gigs and working on a. She's trying to working on a project with her, trying to get some songs to do another CD from her as well.
Mm-hmm.
Still working with Marcus, and 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 pretty much I'm thinking about doing another one more CD before I try to slow it way down.
Right.
So that's what I'm working on songs, talking to different people. I need to get at least two more CDs out before I kind of like semi-retire.
So it's funny you say that. So I was talking to Gerald Albright, and Gerald's a big time golfer. I go,
Right.
what will go first, the golf game or you playing
What did he say?
the golf game?
The
I'm
golf
like,
game, of
okay,
course,
fine. But
music. Yeah.
I don't, I don't want to say I don't believe that, but this is in your blood. This is what
It's,
you've done for 50 plus years.
yeah.
How do you what do you know to do if you don't have that? You know what I mean? It's like
No.
I
Okay.
go ahead.
Having said that, I don't mean totally retire,
Okay.
slowing it down. But the thing is that the trumpet is one of those instruments that's so physical. Even if you think about all the great trumpet players, as they get older, they start declining on an instrument and have to reinvent themselves to how
Right.
they play. Because it's one instrument, it's so physical, it's all lip, because it's only
Right.
three valves, which when I was a kid, I saw three valves. I saw a saxophone with all these triggers, and I'm
Yes.
thinking, three
Yes.
valves, it must be easy. No,
Right.
that what makes it hard because it's only three valves.
Hmm.
It's just everything else is lip. So as you get older, your health, you have health, all these other things
Hmm.
come into play.
Right.
And it's so physical that you have to really think about reinventing yourself on that instrument. And you think about Freddie. Remember Freddie, as he got older,
Hmm.
his
Hmm.
things
Yes.
happened. And I know a couple of other trumpet players that can't even play anymore
Mhm.
because things happen with their health.
Right.
Uh, so that's what I mean by that. I don't mean cold turkey and I'm stopping and never touching it again, but
Right.
I mean slowing down to make it less work and kind of make it fun again.
Hmm.
Did that make any sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
So lastly, in this technology age, people want to be able to follow you. Do you have
Hmm.
a social media presence? Are you on Instagram, Facebook, blah, 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 X, Threads?
Yeah, Facebook, and I have patchesstewart.com, and pretty much that's my. I'm not my problem is I'm not a big social media guy.
Right, yes.
Stephanie trying to help me to advance to get me over that hill.
Uh-huh, I get
So
it.
so that's pretty much the social media that I have available.
All right, Patches, I greatly appreciate the time. I've learned an awful lot from you. I
Yes,
will
sir.
constantly follow your career. I still see you and Paulo standing next to each other behind Al and different
That
things
was,
like that. Best of luck to you. If you come out with anything new, please let Jazz Flyte know. We'll put it on our social media to help get your music out there.
oh,
La-
fantastic.
Not a problem. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to the Jazz Flyte Podcast. Most of the time, I'm Darrell Scott. Some of you will get that. I won't tell you what everything is. If you like what we do, if you like this interview with Patches and all the other 130 plus that we've done, hit the subscribe button so that you can stay in contact with us. If you have questions, comments, you want to tell me to go blonde, I don't care. You can always email me at jazzflyte@gmail.com. Once again, Patches Stewart, thank you for being our guest today. And folks, we will talk to you next week. Thank you for tuning in to the Jazz Flyte Podcast. I hope you enjoy these stories and soulful melodies that grew through the doors of time. If you want to stay connected with the latest updates and episodes, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. Until next time, I'm Darrell Scott.